So n8n finally did it and released their own prompt to workflow generator, meaning you can now log into n8n, describe what type of AI agent or automation you want to build, and it builds it for you. Now, this is something that the n8n community has been asking for a really long time. And up until now, the only way to do anything like this was to use a bunch of third-party tools like Claude Code, Sonnet 4.5, and the n8n MCP server all in conjunction. And while that was a viable option, it required a little bit of technical know-how. So having the ability to just log into n8n, type in what you want, and have it built all in one place is a huge boon for people who don't want to go through all the technical steps to get something like Claude Code up and running. Now, while this option will be more convenient, will it be any good? And in this video, we're going to go ahead and answer that question as we put their new workflow builder through a series of tests, seeing how it does with easy, medium, and hard difficulty workflows. And then we'll actually compare it side to side with what we were able to build using Claude Code. So with that, let's hop in and get to testing. So here's what the prompt builder looks like when you log into n8n for the first time and open up a new workflow inside of the canvas. Now, let's go over a few caveats. First, you need to be on the n8n cloud. This is not available if you are self-hosting. Secondly, you need to be on version 1.115 or later. So if you are on the cloud but you don't see it, make sure you upgrade your n8n instance. Third, this works on a credit system. Every time I ask this thing to create a new automation or agent, that's 1 credit. If you're on the trial, you get 20 credits. If you're on the starter plan, 50 credits, pro plan, 150 credits. So it's not unlimited automations that I can create, and we're also limited to the n8n cloud instance. So with those caveats in mind, those restrictions, let's now see it in action. So right away, you see these pre-built automations and agents right here. So if I click on something like Daily AI News Digest, which I would consider an easy to create automation, it just puts in the prompt for us. So it says, fetch the latest AI news every day at 8. I want you to summarize the top 5 stories from multiple sources, and then send everything as a structured Telegram message. I should be able to chat about the news with the LLM, so at least 40 last messages should be stored. So this is almost something similar to the AI newsletters that we have often run these systems through as a test, right? We did that with Claude Code a few weeks ago. So let's hit create workflow and see what it actually builds. So here's what it made for us. And on the right side of the screen, you see this n8n AI build situation automatically populate, right? There used to be an ask thing where you could ask it usually if you had errors and it would give you some suggestions. Now we have the option for the build, and that's what we're using, and that's what's consuming credits. So you can see we have a prompt up here on the top right. And then from there, it goes through its like checklist of searching nodes, getting node details, adding nodes, etc. This looks very familiar to kind of Claude Code, right? Where it creates its little like checklist of what it's going to do, and then it knocks it off one by one. So it went through all these, created the nodes and all that. And then it gives us a guide of how to actually set it up. Because for many people, right, you can get this and they get a little confused. Okay, like what do I actually do now to get it working? So, it wants us to actually do placeholder values for the API endpoint. So it didn't actually find us new sources, which is kind of a bummer, just sort of templated it for us. We actually have to go out there and figure out what sources we want. We need to set up our Telegram chat ID, add our OpenAI credentials, right? Basically saying, hey, like actually add your credentials. And then it goes through how to actually use it, right? Works at 8 a.m., creates all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So let's kind of go through it in a little more detail and see if it's any good. So if we look at the AI news sources, again, these are just placeholders that we are going to have to put in there. It then has some code of like actually aggregating it all. And then summarize the top 5 news stories. We have to put in the model, and it just stuffs everything into a user prompt. It then generates an image. For whatever reason, decides to use DALL-E 3 instead of GPT image 1, which is kind of a bummer. And then the prompt says create a professional eye-catching image representing today's top AI news. So my question with this would be like, well, how does it actually know what today's top AI news is? It doesn't, right? So this is something that you would need to feed, right? Whatever the output is here into this. So that's a misstep. Formatting looks fine. And then Telegram looks fine. And then over here, you also have the actual chat bot. So like once it gets the news, then you can actually talk to it. Why you would need to talk to it about the news, I don't know, but that's how it set it up. Now let's see what happens if we just tell it like, hey, I want you to pick the news sources for me. I don't want to find them myself. So we get this working option. And if you hit stop as it's working, that won't count as a credit. Now, if I let this go through, again, that would be credit number 2 for me. Okay, so we change it to 3 sources that don't require an API. I have set up all my credentials. So let's actually test it out and see if it works. So we're just going to go to execute workflow. So right away, we get an error and it's an error with our source. So it's having trouble with the Reddit section, which was kind of expected. So, I mean, I'm not going to fix that because really I've kind of seen what I need to see from the prompt builder when it comes to the easy type of workflows and automations. And that is 80% solution, probably at best, right? We're going to have to go in here. We're going to have to make some edits to the sources. We're going to have to make some edits to the generate AI image logic. So I'm not blown away by how it's done, but I'm not extremely disappointed because truth be told, this is a solid template, a solid skeleton from which you can build what you need to build, right? I wish it was a little more fleshed out considering that this was one of the pre-built ones. And also, like, what's the point of this chatbot? Like, that's kind of nonsensical. But let's now see how it does on a more difficult workflow, something that requires it to think outside the box and one that isn't a pre-made one. So for our second test, we're going to have it create us like a content creation AI agent. So it's going to be able to take in a user query. I want it to do research via Perplexity on that topic and then come up with articles and copy fit for Twitter, LinkedIn, and a blog post. So I want to be able to do like 3 different versions of it. And if prompted, I want the agent to be able to email it to me as well. Now, what I actually did here is I went to Claude and I had it create this entire prompt that was much more detailed. Problem was, there is a limit to the amount of characters you can send to this prompt builder. It's about 950-ish. So I wasn't able to do the really long prompt with tons of detail. So we're sticking with this one, which is a little less precise. So another sort of guardrail that you need to keep in mind when using this. But let's see how it does. So here's what it created. And on first glance, this looks good. So we have our chat model, we have Perplexity. Now, when I click into Perplexity, I will say, why is there no message here? So that's kind of disappointing, right? At the very least, I would have expected it to do this. So at least define it automatically by the model, or even better yet, actually have written out what the text should be. Because right now the tool doesn't even know how it should be used. So that's kind of a bummer. I have to go inside of there. Gmail tool, see, it did from AI here as well. And kind of went even more detailed with it. But for whatever reason, it didn't do that with Perplexity. So now let's take a look at the system message and see how it did. So it says you're a content research and creation assistant, use Perplexity tool, create 3 versions. Okay, and a blog post. After creating all the content, use the Gmail tool to email all 3 versions to the user, format the email. Okay, so pretty good. Let's see how it actually works. So let's open the chat. So I told it to create an article on AI and content creation. So let's take a look at the final output. So here's what it emailed us. We see the Twitter post right here. Then we get the blog post, but we're not seeing any LinkedIn posts. So it only gave us 2 out of the 3 items we actually asked for. What I'm seeing here is kind of similar to what we saw with the newsletter/news aggregator. 80% solution, maybe 70% solution. So you get kind of the skeleton, but it's really on you to go back in there and actually tweak it to get something you want. But like, you have the bones for what you asked for. And so that was with, I would say, 2 fairly simple versions, right? We had the automation and an agent. Now I'm really interested in seeing how it works on something actually difficult. So we're going to use the same hard one that we used in the last 2 Claude Code videos. And that is a pretty complicated like LinkedIn job scraper. So here's the prompt. We're saying big picture, this automation is meant to help people land jobs by scraping LinkedIn jobs boards via Appify, identifying hiring managers of the jobs, then crafting custom messages for those managers. The automation should begin with the user filling out a form, identifying the job they want. Based on that, scrape LinkedIn jobs via Appify, then bring the jobs back to the user. User chooses the job he likes. From there, find the hiring managers, create custom email draft for each. So pretty complicated, right? You, the user, you're trying to find jobs and actually talk to people. You put in the jobs you want. It brings back jobs to you. It's scraped from LinkedIn. You say, hey, I like jobs 1, 2, and 3 out of the 10 you brought me. It says, sweet, of those 3 jobs, let me go find the hiring managers for you. It brings back the hiring managers and then crafts custom messages for each manager based on things like your resume and the job itself, right? That's actually a lot, you know? Especially the scraping part, because we're asking, go out there to the internet and find the right scrapers. Remember when we did this with Claude Code using 4.5, it was actually able to identify the right Appify scrapers, which was very surprising. So let's see how this one does. So here's what it gave us. And on the surface, this looks pretty good. I don't see any dead nodes. Dead nodes are modules that look like this, but it's just a question mark. That means it gave you JSON and it just made up a node that actually isn't something you can build. You see that often when you use third-party tools, even like Claude Code, when you give it more complex tasks. So right off the bat, you have the job application form, right? And what is it asking us? Basically, hey, what sort of job do you want? It then has a set node, so it's just setting a bunch of variables. So Appify LinkedIn Job Scraper, Appify LinkedIn Profile Scraper. I don't know if these are real, so that's a maybe. We need to check on that. Then it scrapes them, right, by ID. Everything's kind of set there, so that looks good. Format job for user. So I'm not actually sure how this is going to like pop up, if that's going to make sense. Parse selected jobs, find the hiring managers. Then we generate the custom email. So if we take a look at this prompt, right, does this prompt make sense logically? Hey, so it's passing all the candidate information, the job details, and the hiring manager information. So that's pretty good. Like that's a good start. And then it creates the actual draft. Now let's actually compare this real quick to this one. This is what was made using Claude Code, right? And you kind of see a similar logic, right? Where it starts with the job search form, right? So, hey, this is where we put in our first jobs that we want, scrapes LinkedIn, right? It also gives us a URL that's slightly different. And then it also puts it all into Google Sheets, which is cool too. So we actually have a one-stop shop to see everything happening, right? I don't have to like always be inside of n8n. I'll have this actual external database essentially where I can see which jobs have been selected and which ones I can apply for. That's really nice. From there, it then goes into the job selection form. So, hey, it brought you the 10 jobs. Which do you want, right? Continues to update sheets, does the hiring manager stuff, does the email. I kind of like how Claude did the email a little bit more because it breaks it down into user message and the system message, which I think is a best practice that for whatever reason, n8n doesn't follow. And then it generates the drafts, collects all the drafts, and then it even tells you when it's all done, right? Which is nice. So while we compare these two, while I love the Google Sheets edition from Claude Code, there is an argument to be made that the simplicity of this one makes it way easier to actually A, execute, and then B, edit. And as you're seeing with all of these, like you are going to have to edit things. Like it is not going to give you a 100% solution. Again, 60, 70, 80% solution is the best you can ask for. And from the 3 tests we've done, it feels like the n8n prompt generator is kind of hitting that mark, right? It's not far off from what we're getting with Claude Code. And from what I've seen, I would say it's also a little bit more consistent. So what are my final thoughts on this? Big picture, this is solid. This is actually a pretty good product as long as you understand what you're getting yourself into. There is nothing that exists today in the market and probably won't for at least 6 months to a year where you give it a complex prompt and it just nails it automatically on the first time. That doesn't exist. So the bar that is set is like, can you give me something that's an 80% solution that saves me a bunch of time on the front end from setting up a bunch of modules, gives me a good idea of maybe if I was confused of how I would actually do this, what it should look like. If it can hit that mark, it's really good. That's the best you can get right now. This hits that mark. Frankly, it does. The only thing that competes with this right now is a Claude Code Sonnet 4.5 n8n MCP server build, where you are also, let's be frank, paying $100 to $200 a month for Claude Code, right? So you can't use this if you're self-hosting, but you also can't use the Claude Code system unless you're paying this exorbitant amount a month, right? And for many people, it's worth it. But if you don't fall into that camp, then this is the best option you got to go from prompt to agent, to go from prompt to automation, right? It's better than anything else out there. It crushes any sort of Claude, project build. It crushes any sort of custom GPT. So this is really, really good. Now, if you're one of those people who both uses Claude Code and is comfortable with it and uses the n8n Cloud and is wondering, hey, which of the two are better head to head? I think it just is going to be a case by case basis, honestly. And I will say the credit system is kind of a drag on this. Like I only get 50 credits a month if I'm on, the starter plan versus Claude Code. Like I can go back and forth with it for a long time. And I can also sit there and I can plan things out. With this, it's kind of a one shot, right? I'm going to give it the prompt and then it's going to see what it builds and then I can edit it afterwards. But if I edit it with the prompt, again, that's a credit. And I only get 50 of those. So I really have like 50 like back and forth I can go with. Versus with Claude Code, like we can go back and forth all day. I can send it out online. It can look at other stuff that I feed it, and we can actually sit there and plan out what our workflow is going to look like before we build anything. So head to head, I would still give the nod to Claude Code because of the flexibility, right? And the overall throughput because I'm not limited by credits. But again, if you're not in that camp, this is huge. This is really good. So truthfully, I don't know if there's much of a Venn diagram between people who only self-host who also pay the max plan for Claude Code. So I don't know if that competition is even a real thing. for most people. I think people tend to be in one camp or the other. And right now, it's great to be in either camp because before this came out, you had no real option. So honestly, hats off to n8n. I think this is solid. This is the worst it's ever going to be. And I'm looking forward to see how good they actually get it. So definitely check it out and play around with it.